Good evening, folks, and happy Monday. As a Muay Thai coach, I get asked a lot about how can I improve my round kick? Why are my hips so tight? Why can't I kick this person in the head? So we're gonna do some hip opener and lower back mobility and flexibility exercises. I got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of them for you. I'm going to go through the whole video today. Feel free to join as you please. All right, so let's get started with the standing stuff. It's going to be your standing internal twist. I'm kind of tall, so let me fix this camera. All right, so starting with the poise, the toes pointed forward. I'm going to twist and collapse my knee into my other one, twist, rotate it directly out. Again, toe is up, twist, collapse, out, up, twist, and away. I'm going to do that for exactly 1 minute. Let's do it. Take your time. You can feel free to collapse down into that if you need to. As far as how far you open up, that is completely up to your hip. This is just warming it up, saying hi. How does everything feel? It is a complete feel good. Nice easy twist. Next time. Give yourself 5 more seconds. Switch it, shake it out, same exact thing. Collapse, rotate out, make sure that toe is up, or sorry, the heel is up, just on the ball of your foot or your toe here. Boom, boom. You can either do it completely standing straight like this, or feel free to bend your base knee. That's going to be my left knee as I'm doing it this side. Keep it up. Nice, easy twist. Again, how far you turn out is completely up to you. Ten more seconds. You'll notice the hip over. It's exactly what we do when we throw a round kick. 5 more seconds here. Check it out. Number next is a wall or a leg swings. Feel free to use a chair if you have one at home. I have a lovely heavy bag here, so I'm going to use that instead because I'm tall. But we're going to start by kicking straight forward. So I'm going to stand next to, or if I had the chair, I'd be standing next to the chair, facing forward against the heavy bag. Oh, let me not kick the chair. Your leg closest to the bag or your leg closest to the chair. It's just easy swings forward and then behind you. It's okay to bend your knee to start as you warm this all up. But eventually, let's stand tall. Let yourself slightly drape with your leg when you come back. What I don't want is this, that lower back arc against your backswing. Avoid that. So you can drape nice and easy as you need to. Just a few more swings, just swinging straight through. A few more. Switch sides, just turn around. Now your left leg or your other leg is supposed to, for me, it's my left leg is closest to the bag. Again, you can start with your leg bent here. Don't worry if you can't kick as high with one leg as you can with the other. Our hips are uneven. We have a preferred dominant side, and our hips will reflect that. So again, my leg is starting bent here. Just nice and easy. How are you doing here? Leg. When you're ready, straighten it out a bit. Let yourself drape just a bit. When you come for that backswing, avoid pinching that lower back. I'm tall. I'm always going to be talking about my lower back. Nice and easy. A few more here. These are forward and back swings. All right, so that was forward and back, meaning I was perpendicular to the bag here. Boop, boop. Or for your viewership, here or here. Now I'm going to face the chair. Or in my case, I'm going to face the bag. So now, keeping my hips facing the bag, I'm going to swing my leg open, swinging it over my hip and then swinging it out. So it's going to look like this. Bop. Notice I do have a slightly bent leg. That's totally fine. We're just saying hi. Keep that base foot. It doesn't matter really so much where your toes are. You'd be preferred that your toes are directly facing the bag or chair that you're swinging against, but it's totally fine, whatever you use. Again, as I warm up, I'm going to straighten my leg, letting my upper body drape just a bit so I avoid pinching anything. And I'm just swinging on through. Notice that when I swing out, away from my hip, my toes point forward towards the bag, or in my case, towards the wall. Boop. Check those base toes here if you can. Both toes pointed directly at the wall, or in this case, the bag and the wall for me. A few more. Switch, shake it out. Switch legs. Base toes pointed forward. Nice, easy. Oh, I'm going to kick this chair here. Nice, easy bent knee to start. Just saying hi. There's a lot of rotation happening here on your base leg. Feel that out. If your toes can point forward to the bag in my case, or the chair in your case, do that. After a few more, let's think about straightening this leg I'm swinging. Let's try it out. Nice and straight leg. Look at those toes. Both my base toes and the toes that I'm swinging are pointing towards the bag, or in your case, the chair or the wall. You can even do it against the wall, whatever you have available. Whew. A few more. Shake it out, shake it out. Leg swings, again, against the wall is the way I like them, or against the chair if you have one. All right, we're gonna move to the foam roller, or we're gonna move on to the ground. We're gonna be here for the rest of class. You have three options to you. If you haven't done this before, you can roll up a towel. A towel is gonna be super soft. It's going to be squishy, and it's going to be a lot less intense on your vertebrae as we do this first warm-up. So all I did was take a towel and roll it up just to look like a foam roller. So option one, easiest option, roll up a towel. Option two, ye old regular foam roller. It's smooth, no divots. Option three, I do this a lot. I'm tall. I constantly do this warm up for fight team and for my Muay Thai training. So my round kicks are looking good and strong. Ones with divots. So again, option one, towel, soft and easy. Option two, smooth foam roller. It's nice and firm, but it doesn't have these intense divots. Option three, this, divoted foam roller right here. So I'm going to use the divoted foam roller for me, because again, I do this all the time. So this is going to be our kick-ups with the foam roller. Let me adjust this just a tad since we could be on the ground. All right. So we're going to start just above the tailbone, not on the tailbone, but just above the tailbone. So I'm going to let myself, nice and easily, just drape right above my tailbone. And what I'm going to do is I'm essentially going to choose a leg, hug a leg, lengthen it out, tap it to the ground, and hug it back to me to start. So it looks like this. Boop, boop. Adjust that foam roller however you need to. Looks like this. Knee bent, stretch, tap. Knee bent, stretch, tap. Just like this. Now, as you get used to this motion, actively set up that kick out. So bam, there's my kick out, I touch. Bent, bam, touch. Keep it up, keep it up. Bent, kick up, touch. A few more here. All right, switch legs, same exact thing. Other leg, straight leg, bent, straight, tap, bent, straight, tap. To start, I'm just straightening and bending my leg, saying hi to the side of my hip here, my lower back. Bent, straight, touch. A few more here, and then we're gonna add the kick out. All right, so bent, kick up, straight leg touch. Bent, kick up, straight leg touch. Just a few more. All right. All right. Number next is my my spine openers. So we're gonna work vertebrae by vertebrae here, starting just above my tailbone. Again, feel this out. Your options are a rolled towel, nice and soft and giving, a smooth foam roller, or a spined foam roller like I have. So find that right above the tailbone here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll up my hips, hips to chest, roll it up, and I'm going to tuck them back down over the foam roller. Over, tuck them back, tuck them down, tuck them up, tuck them down. Once you get used to that motion, when we tuck over, we're actually going to relax and let our spine just completely stretch that way. Come back. Now, when we're ready, come back over. Let yourself sink and take some big breaths. Let your spine curve over the foam roller. 2 more breaths. Nice. Lift up, roll it up. Roll your foam roller, your towel, or your rib foam roller up your back. We're going to do up our back 5 times. So choose where you need the foam roller. Again, we're going to start with our tucks. So tuck it in, tuck over, tuck inward, tuck over. Just saying hi. Find that position of the foam roller that makes sense for you. If this part of your back says, ooh, wow, even with a rolled up towel, skip it and roll it up and then roll up your foam roller or your towel a bit more. It is very intense for our spine, but we need it, especially because most of us are at home right now, sitting in a chair all day. All right, a few more here. Tucks over the foam roller. All right, so now we're going to do our big breaths over. I'm going to tuck over it. I'm going to take a big breath and just sink over it. Another big breath. Breathe in. And over it. Roll it up again. This is number 3. Again, starting with tucks. Find the positioning of your foam roller or your rolled up towel. Whatever you need. A few more here. All right, we're going to start our breaths here. All right, tucking over, take a big breath and let yourself sink over the foam roller or towel. Relax. Big breath. And out. Again. And out. And in. And out. All right, second to last time. Roll it up. Find a place that you need for your back here. Again, same exact thing. Start with your tucks here. I have my legs bent and my heels in the ground. So that way, if my back goes, oh, that's too far, I can stop it. So don't do this with straight legs, especially if this is your first time doing it. You need to listen to your lower back. Your lower back probably isn't used to this. You've probably never done this before. So please pay attention to your lower back and have your legs bent. A few more of these curls here. Nice job. All right, we're gonna drape and breathe over here. So I'm gonna let myself drape over my foam roller. Big breaths. And sink over it. Big breaths. And sink over it. Big breaths. One more. Last one, roll it up again. Here we go. And we're gonna do our tucks again. As you come up your back, you may find that you can't drape over your foam roller as much. That's okay. Our spines are bent very opposite towards the top because our necks are naturally draped forward. So we have a more intense curve facing the opposite way we're bending our spine right now as we move up our spine. Our lower back actually bends the same way as we're doing right now when I drape over like this, but when we get to our upper back, it's actually the opposite. So you will not be able to drape as far as you move up your back, and that is totally normal. Your spine's built that way. Just a couple more. All right, here we go. Big breaths. And in. One more. All right, get rid of this for a second. Lay flat. Let your spine realign a bit. We're going to do hip openers now. We're going to do unglued hip openers to start. So, hello back. All right. Heels to the butt as much as it makes sense for you. What I mean by unglued, choose a leg. So right now I'm dropping my right leg. So what I'm going to do is move my left leg onto my right, roll over if you need to. Don't worry. Eventually we will roll over. We will stop ourselves from rolling over. So unglued means that I'm going to lift my left leg away from this one that's on the ground until it naturally lifts. So I'm going to roll, come back to the right leg, collapse, come back. There's the lift, collapse, roll over. It lifts up, collapse, roll over. It lifts up, recollapse. Start thinking about pushing this leg down. Feel free to use your hand like this. Give it just a bit resistance. Now, what I mean by that is a little more stretch than what naturally it wants to lift at. I'm pushing it down just a bit. So I'm going to push it down, but it's still going to lift. Just make it a little more difficult for it to lift. These are unglued hip openers. Couple more here. It's still going to lift. Just make it a little harder for it to do so. Switch legs. Naturally unglued to start. My left leg in my case is down. Turning my opposite, it lifts. I collapse. It lifts. I recollapse. It lifts. I recollapse. Nice and easy. Notice I'm flat against the ground. I'm looking up. This is a relaxing, how are you doing hips? Don't worry, we'll get to the intense stuff later, but this is the easy stuff. Nice and easy, naturally unglued, just a couple more. All right, so now you can either push your leg down with the inside of your hand, or you can just force your leg down as you do this. I'm going to use my hand for demonstration purposes. Now, again, collapse, make it slightly harder for it to come off the mat. Just a bit harder. We're working our way up the whole tree here. Slightly unnaturally glued hip opener. Make it just slightly tougher for this leg to want to lift off the mat. And swing this leg out till it does so. And then recollapse. Recollapse. Just a couple more. All right, we're going back to the other leg. Now we're doing the same thing, but we're gluing this leg and it doesn't get to lift. So this is more of a flexibility exercise. You're stretching it. Not that we're not going to let it freely rotate and come up naturally. So I'm going to keep this leg here. Again, I'm going to put my hand for demonstration purposes. I'm going to collapse, and I'm actually going to open this up and not let this lift. Boom, it's much wider. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to collapse. I'm going to come up. I'm not going to let it lift. Stretch this opposite leg away. It's like a laying butterfly stretch if you know what a butterfly stretch is. Boom, don't let it lift. Stretch away. Collapse. Stretch away as far as you can, as far as it makes sense for your hips. Don't let that leg lift. These are your glued hip openers. Stretch away, collapse, stretch away. Just a few more on this leg. Switch it. All right. So again, gluing this down. This leg does not get to move. This one does. So I'm going to pull away. Oh, perfect. Pull away. Ah, perfect. Your hips, as I was saying before, are not even. I can open up my left side of my hips way more than I can my right. That's because we have a dominant preferred side. We use it. I use my right side more than I use my left. That's just the way it is. So you will be able to open up one side more than the other. That is perfectly okay. Listen to your sides. As I do this, I'm noticing when my left leg is glued and I'm opening up my right, I can't open it up as far. Do not force it to be the same. As you do these things more often, maybe 3 times a week is what I like to do, you will slowly start evening out. But for now, you have a dominant side. Just go with it. We are just stretching it at the moment. Again, it's glued. Don't let it lift. You stretch away, pull away, until it says, okay, that's enough. Then you collapse. Glued hip openers. Just one more. All right. We're going to do a lower back twist. So this is our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had 6 lower back and hip openers before I did this on purpose. This is really intense on your lower back. So please listen to it. All right, here we go. Choose a leg. For me, I have my right leg straightened. I'm going to bring over my left leg. I'm going to let my body turn the way my left leg as I drape it over wants to be, but my other leg is straight. Let me squirm up a bit for you so you can see both legs. So right leg is straight, left leg is bent over. Now, keeping this leg and this leg straight, I'm going to reach back over and away from my bent leg. It looks like this. We're going to start right here. If you can't get this arm completely against the mat, that's totally fine. I do this a lot, so my lower back really enjoys this. Reaching away from that bent leg. Ow. I want you to think about taking really big, deep breaths. Big breaths, my back and my hips and everything just lift up slightly. And when I breathe out, I sink in like a puddle. Feel free to turn your head, now your head away. Let's take those big breaths. And sink like a puddle and twist. Another. In and out. Twist and sink. In, raise. Twist and sink. Again, up and raise. Twist and sink. One more. Twist and raise. Twist and sink. Come undone here. Undo your pretzel. Switch legs. For me, my left leg is straight and my right leg is bent. I'm going to drape it over. All right. Starting again, just my arm is bent over me. Relax here. Let your lower back say, oh, this is what we're doing. Try to get that right shoulder for me towards the mat now. Relax here. Okay, we're going to take our big breaths and we're going to twist our head towards our arm. So for me, that's to my right. Big breath in and raise. Twist and sink. 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 One more. In and raise. Twist and sink. All right. Same setup, but we're going to do alternate. So we're going back to our original side. My right leg is straight, my left leg is bent, and I'm draping it over. Right leg straight, left leg bent and draped over. Now I'm going to stretch out for me my right arm here. What I'm going to do is slide my other palm up to this palm. Then I'm going to twist away and lay out opposite. Bring it back, slide up, palm to palm, and maybe past a little bit. Then I'm going to twist away and over. Slide up and pass, twist over. Slide up and pass, twist back over. If you can, think about twisting that head away, getting that shoulder against the mat when you twist away. A few more. Couple more. Slide and twist. One more. Slide and pass. Twist over. Switch legs. For me, my left leg is straight now. My right leg is bent, and I'm draping it over. Hand out. Sliding up past my palm. Twisting over and away. You don't need to get your shoulder down to the mat and your neck completely twisted away to start. You will work into it. Slide up and past. Twist away. Couple more on this. Think about sinking that shoulder and turning your neck away when you twist now. Start thinking about it. Don't force it. Don't push it down forcefully, but start thinking that way. Trying to get that opposite shoulder to sink down, trying to twist that neck away. Couple more. One more after this. Excellent. All right. Come on up. We know and love these. These are at the end of my stretch on purpose. I would never do these at the beginning of class when I'm cold. Usually I have my students do this after they're warmed up and they've had a workout. It's pigeon pose and frog stretch. So pigeon pose, choose a leg. For me, I'm going to bend my right leg and straighten my left. Now I'm going to bring my chest to my bent leg's knee. That's it. Up. Just like that. Now, we're going to do our breaths here. The goal is to sink like a puddle down into the mat. So when I take a big breath in to demonstrate, I'm raising up, letting my shoulders come up. But when I breathe out, I'm going to actively sink in like a puddle. Looks like this. I breathe in. I breathe out. Sink like a puddle. We're going to take about, let's do 5 breaths. So get in position. You can stretch your arms out if you like, or you can bend them for support. Depends on your flexibility. Let's take our big breath in and raise. Out and sink. Sink, 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 and sink. In and raise. Out and sink. Let everything relax. They are all just rubber bands. Let them stretch. Sink. And in. And out. Let it all sink. Let all the rubber bands stretch. 2 more. Breathe in. And out and sink. And in. Out and sink. Sink, sink, sink. Be a puddle. Let your rubber bands all stretch out. Keep the legs where they are. Pop it up. Slide bending your back. Look up at the ceiling. Here's when I would, after a workout, I have my students make funny faces. to relax our face, because when we work out really hard, we scrunch up our face in concentration. So this is the time where I'd have my students do funny faces. So let's do funny faces. So I'm going to stretch. I'm pushing my hips down into the mat here. Boom, boom. Lifting up, looking up slightly towards the ceiling. Make super funny faces. Relax your face while looking up. Open up the eyes real wide. Move your mouth around. Move your nose around. Really big movements. Relax here. Nice. Switch legs. Shake it out if you need to. So now my left leg is going to be bent here. My right leg is going to be straight. Again, when I breathe in, I'm going to let my body raise, my shoulders, everything come up. And when I breathe out, I'm going to sink like a puddle into the mat. So here we go. Starting positions. Hands can be stretched out if you like or bent for support. Breathe in. And out. Relax everything. Let yourself sink. And in. Now in sync. Let all the rubber bands stretch. And in. And out. Sink, sink, sink. Actively force yourself to be a puddle. And in. And out. Sink, sink, sink. Let it all stretch. One more time, in. And out. Sink, sink, sink. Be a puddle. Let all the rubber bands stretch. Same. Keep your legs where they are. Pop it up. Bend that back. Roll out the shoulders a bit if you need to. Look up slightly. Push your hips down. Look up at the ceiling. Make funny faces. Relax into this. Big funny faces. Nice. Come back to neutral. Knees underneath you here. Shake it out. We have one last. This is the frog stretch. This is at the end of my workout, and this is at the end of my stretch routine on purpose. This is probably the most intense hip opening stretch and hip flexibility one. So please never do this cold and never do it at the beginning of your workout. So what we're going to do here is we're going to keep our feet together. Let's see if I can get a better angle for you. Feet together. And I'm going to let my hips drop away from each other. Feet are together and my hips, or my knees, I should say, are going to fall apart. Now, I'm going to come down to the mat here on my elbows, and I'm going to sink back, butt back towards my heels. Your knees are going to naturally spread as we do this. Let that happen. That's the whole point of this. Sink back, and if you can, stretch out your arms and sink your chest and head down. Butt back to heels, knees out, head down, arms out. And breathe here. Sit here for a bit. Again, I'm relaxing so my knees naturally fall apart. Let that happen. Now, keeping the distance my knees are apart, I'm just going to roll my hips straight forward into the mat. So here it is. I'm literally just rolling forward into the mat. Just roll it all forward into the mat and relax. We're going to sink back. But when I do, again, relax and let your knees spread out. So here I come back. Butt's coming back towards my heels. I'm relaxing. My arms are stretching out. My head is coming down to the mat. My knees are naturally spraying out farther. Ooh, hello. That's fine. That's the whole point. Let them spread. Let them stretch. Relax them. Let them do that. Don't worry. We only have one more time back here. I know it's intense. Couple more seconds. Keep it up. You're doing great. Roll your hips forward. Keep your knees apart where they are and roll forward. Yes, it's harder this time. I know. Woo. There we go. Relax. Enjoy the relief before we go back again for the third time. Hello, hips. How are you? It's been too long. All right, we're going to come back. As we're coming back, remember your knees are going to spread. It's going to be intense. Let that happen. Here we go. Roll it back. Butt coming back. Head's coming down. Arms stretching out. Your knees are coming out farther. I know. And sink down into the mat. Chest, head, arms out. Sink. Yes, I know your knees are so far apart. Let that happen. Now that we're here, breathe and let these rubber bands stretch. Relax. Actively let yourself sink like a puddle. Keep it up. 10 more seconds here. Five more seconds. Sink, sink, sink. Nice work. Come up on your hands first, then bring one knee in, and then the other knee. Whew. All right, folks. There we go. That is your hip and lower back openers. Again, I'm really tall. I do these every time before I train in Muay Thai, especially with the fight team. We throw hundreds of round kicks on both sides. Always refer to this video if you ever just need to stretch these out. I highly encourage, if you're taking my class and throwing round kicks every night you're with me, you should be doing this at least twice or 3 times a week. We don't use our hip flexors a lot, and we certainly don't spend the time to stretch out vertebrae by vertebrae our lower back. So you have to do this if you want your round kicks to be higher, your round kicks to be smoother, and certainly your round kicks to feel more powerful and easier. Thanks, y'all. I'm going to head and unmute. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask now. Again,